Hey, my good people. I'm Rob Pasker, anchor for the Young Realtists division of NAREB's YRDtv. So you know what time it is, you know the day. It's 9 p.m. Eastern on Monday night, and that's time for YRDtv. So if you don't know, I'm going to get you familiar really quick right here. We got a very special show today where we're going to go over some of the impediments that the people and the markets that we service are dealing with. And we want to hear from you as far as what are you seeing, what are some solutions that you can think of, or what's your perspective. So for those that don't know, NAREB is an acronym for the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, which is the oldest and largest African American real estate trade association in the country, comprised of over 90 local chapters across 35 states. The Young Realtist division of NAREB was founded in 1996 with the mission of redefining the real estate culture for tomorrow's leader by empowering the youth and communities through wealth building, career exposure, mentorship, professional development, and leadership training. With YRDtv, we are excited to have the opportunity to provide unique programming that will highlight and celebrate relevant information, policies, real-life stories surrounding black real estate in the United States. So this is a whole movement. Shout out to our president, Madam Tamisha Wells, for leading the charge, and shout out to the whole executive committee, the whole executive team who's putting in work daily, weekly to push this agenda forward and move the needle for YRD, for our organization, and for our communities, and for our businesses as well. So with that being said, this is a whole movement. If you're here right now, let me know, because this is only going to be as good as you make it. We need that energy. Give me some of that reciprocity. Go ahead. If you're not familiar with YRD, visit the website, youngrealtist.com. Wow, right here. Check it out. And join. You can join. Okay, this is an organization of people who are passionate about building black wealth. We're different types of young. Just because you may not be young in age, you may be young at heart, or you may be young in the organization. This is for all of us to create a platform and elevate. So with that being said, we are looking for you to get involved. We need committee members. We also need people to bring on the YRDtv. We want to highlight our membership because we are doing amazing things in our communities, and you all deserve the spotlight, you know, and also we can learn a lot from you if you got something that you can share. So with that being said, we're going to move into today's story. This is something that I'm pretty sure a lot of you have dealt with, and people of color, specifically black people, have been dealing with this forever, you know, and we're talking about low appraisals. You know, when you go to list a house, you know, do you tell your clients what they should do with their personal artwork, with their pictures? You know, I know sometimes I do, just keeping it real with my clients, but it is what it is. But there's a family out in California who they got their home appraised. It came in low, but then they got the home reappraised and it came in $500,000 higher after they whitewashed it, put their friends, their Caucasian friends' pictures up, whitewashed the house, and you know, crazy, right? Crazy, right? But you know what? Let's just get into it. Let's just get into it.
This 4-bedroom home in the hills of Marin, north of San Francisco, offers lots of light, water views, a school right down the hill.
So the house used to end right here.
Owners Paul Austin and Tanisha Tate Austin knew it was worth at least $1.3 million based on a 2019 appraisal. But looking to borrow as the housing market heated up, Paul met a new appraiser and showed her around.
And what was the number value? You open up that piece of paper and what is it?
Oh, $998,000.
Less than $1 million.
Less than $1 million.
Which means almost $400,000 less than
Yes.
the appraisal you'd gotten a year earlier.
Yes.
And so they applied for a new appraisal, but this time
I'm going to guarantee that I'm going to get the appraisal that my house is supposed to get.
And in the United States, what is your best guarantee of getting the best rate possible?
Being white.
Being white.
So they worked to erase themselves from their own home.
All of our art, took that away, pictures of our family, anything that, you know, would resemble that this home belongs to a black family. Just, you know, just grabbed it all, put it all in the shed, put it all away.
And they asked a white friend to stand in when the new appraiser arrived.
So this time you open the paper and it says what?
1.482.
Yes. $500,000 difference.
Imagine what that money can do for a family. That's seed money for a business. That's a second home you could rent out. That's college tuition. Now, imagine this whole community misses out on those opportunities. It shows that this is a far larger problem than this one address.
Carla Duffy, a homeowner in Indianapolis, told NBC's Priscilla Thompson about using a similar tactic.
I met with two of my girlfriends. Both are married to white men, and I was like, okay, I need to borrow one of y'all husbands.
Her appraisal came back at double the value. A survey of studies of racial disparities in the U.S. mortgage market found that discrimination inhibits upward social mobility of minorities and exacerbates large racial disparities in wealth because home equity is crucial for building wealth. In fact, this community, known as Marin City, was held back for decades. When Paul's family moved here from the South to work in the shipyards, redlining meant it was the only place in the area where African Americans were allowed to buy a home, while white residents could buy and sell anywhere. Today, Marin City's median income is less than $30,000 a year. Neighboring Mill Valley, a mile away, is nearly 3 times that.
In theory, this home should have been your family's escape from that history.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Like, we shouldn't have to repeat what my grandparents had to go through, 50 plus years ago. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Because we're not as far along in America as we think we are.
The original appraiser did not respond to our request for comment. By the time the Austins got the new appraisal, interest rates and terms meant they couldn't borrow the money they wanted, and they're now suing.
Just the process of appraising is a system that creates inequity in our country.
How do we change the system? Will our story be a catalyst to changing, the system that's negatively affecting Black and brown people every day?
Tom, Paul and Tanisha say that their lawsuit is about the money lost as they were waiting for a second appraisal, but they also say it's about reforming a system that puts the dream of intergenerational wealth into the hands of a possibly biased person. Tom?
So true. Jacob Ward with a very important story tonight. Jacob, thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube.
And there we have it. Like I said, this family here got their home appraised, reappraised, and it came back $500,000 higher. So shout out to Stephanie Burton. If we're talking about solutions, because I'm a solution-oriented individual, and NAREB in general is a solution-oriented organization. So if you ask me, I think that's one of the best ways to go about it is getting more Black appraisers into the industry. But a lot of times I would imagine in a lot of markets that's easier said than done, because I can only speak on Ohio, but there's a stringent process to becoming an appraiser, meaning you have to have at least like 2 years of mentorship and journeyman and to get in. But with that being said, we do have one of our affiliates, the National Society of Real Estate Appraisers, the NESRI, and I mean that's their whole goal is to increase the number of Black appraisers in the real estate industry, and also make sure that the appraisers in NESRI and NAREB have the best tools and knowledge to do their jobs. But I would agree, be the system, get in there. We need more Black appraisers at the end of the day. Appraisal, everybody, real estate is a very broad industry. And with that being said, there's a place for everybody. So if you find yourself someone that doesn't mind crunching numbers, going into appraisal might be nice for you, because there's always going to be appraisals. Always, every time a house sells, at least with a mortgage, there's going to be an appraisal, and it's a great market that you could build upon. But to each their own. But if you're watching right now, are you doing anything else when it comes to your clients? What are you doing? What are you telling your clients in order to help them overcome appraisals or prepare for the appraisals? I know me, with the knowledge that I have of the history of systemic oppression, redlining, when it comes to my clients, I do let them know the history, and I let them know what's going on nationwide as far as Black families and low appraisals. And it's a shame. So Stephanie, I see you're watching. The name of the organization is NESRI, the National Society of Real Estate Appraisers. It's one of NAREB's 10 affiliates, and their focus is on elevating the appraisers in NAREB, creating more Black appraisers, as well as equipping the appraisers that we do have to better do their job, to set them apart in their markets and help to elevate and create a platform for them. So, and then we can talk about why is this an issue? Why is this a big issue? We're talking about wealth. We're leaving money on the table. And by the way, if you're watching right now, you want to share your thoughts, you hit the link in the bio and in the description. I'll bring you on screen. We can talk about it. But whatever the case, we're talking equity. So when we talk about wealth, you know, take away the top 10% of wealthy Americans, over 60% of the wealth in America is invested in owner-occupied properties, meaning that most Americans build their wealth by paying their mortgage every month. And then you have the appreciation, which the property value rises over time. So when you talk about shortchanging these families, you're taking money away from generations to come. You're talking about stealing generational wealth. So yes, you know, it's a serious issue. It's an impediment to black wealth, which is an impediment to black progress and liberation, and also just equity in America in general. I'm a firm believer that, you know, America is a better place when its citizens are its strongest. And so it's important that we create the democracy where everyone has the same opportunity to build wealth, be productive, and add their gifts and talents to the American pie, the American pool, you know, because we want to move forward. You know, I say America's it's a quilt. You know, everybody has something to add. And so for us to bring our patches, and we all know that Black America is very talented, for us to, if we were free, there was equity, America would be a better place to live, point blank, period. And as we open doors for other people, for ourselves, I should say, as we take care of home and open doors for ourselves, we also open doors for the other people in America that are marginalized. So, realtists out there, I charge you, you know, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. I challenge some of you, look into becoming an appraiser, because we need more black appraisers. Honestly, in my market, I can't name one black real estate appraiser in my market, which is Northwest Ohio. So I would challenge you, look to see what's going on in your market, and if you know anyone that would be a good fit, suggest it to them. You know, bring them to a MidWinter. Tell them to come to the National and get acquainted with the black appraisers, get acquainted with the affiliates in general, because our affiliates are a storehouse of knowledge and information, you know, and that's what this is about, us moving forward and redefining the culture for real estate culture for tomorrow's leaders. We need more leaders. We need leaders that are in appraisal. We need leaders in development. We need leaders in contracting. We need leaders in property management, you know, but that's what we're about here at NAREB, and also Young Realtists, is elevating those leaders. So with that being said, let's talk about what's coming soon, because you know, it's some action coming up. First and foremost, boom, do it now. If you haven't done it yet, there you go, right there. If you haven't done it yet, register for the MidWinter Conference in San Antonio, March 1st through March 4th. It's going to be an environment, it's going to be a space of nothing but growth, fellowship, love. You know, when I go to the MidWinter conferences, I'm around like-minded individuals who are performing at a high level across the nation, and it does a lot to inspire me. And I'm able to go and bring things back to my market, to my city, and make a difference on a whole higher level because of the information, because of the connections that I brought back. So it's one of the best things you could do for your career, especially if you're new to the career, you're new to the organization. It's hard to really put it into words until you get there, and then you feel it, and it's off the chain. Be there or be square, and you don't want to be square. Also, we have our general body meeting for Young Realtist Division this coming Tuesday, 6 o'clock. Be there or be square. Hit the link in the bio for all things YRD. Join, because it's a movement. So with that being said, I appreciate you all rocking with me today for YRDtv. My name is Rob Pasker, and I will see you next week. Thank you.